what it was I was looking at pictures of people. I know I had invited a fair number of the teachers, and Chris had invited people from at least the computer area of IOC. We invited a few family friends. They're my friends too, people we had babysat or mom had babysat. I mean, how do people really make friends? I'm not sure what it is that somebody who hovers over me, you know, the Zeppelin, which I'm not allowed to say again, has as a view of friends. Because, you know, even here where we're living now, nobody seems to have any actual friends. But in any case, it wasn't from fighting with anybody back then. I never ever fought. We always got along with people. You saw them where you saw them. You knew them where you knew them. They cut your hair. They're still kind of a friend when you're there with them. Some people, well, we had to cut the wedding list down, you know, as the new saying goes, to a degree, because, well, it was costly, and I believe we had to borrow money for the wedding. I was still working at that point. Chris had been working for a year or two. He just gotten a raise, so his salary equaled mine. And, but it was still expensive. And nobody ever had any extra money. I never went on holidays. And friends of the family. And friends of Nana's. And just people who were in Labrador for so many years that if they weren't at your wedding, it just wasn't right. Because you just love them because they're what Labrador is. And people you'd watch grow up. And that's what a family wedding is, isn't it? And I mean, I could hardly think. I couldn't even remember that I wanted daisies at my wedding. But Judy remembered that was one of the few things I'd always said I'd have when I got married. And so it was nice. And everybody got to get out and enjoy themselves. But because we could only invite a certain number of people, and we chose the obvious people were connected with. And you follow the rules in your wedding book and whatnot. And a lot of people came from away, which was a big trip. And not at all to home, just to where family was. And I thank you. And I'm sorry that we didn't get together up here, but can you imagine what it would have been like? Everything just fell apart up here. And I know what it had done for your family too, because I remember you sort of saying, but I guess I went through what you went through in many ways, and just, I don't know, put a claw into something to try and hold it a little bit longer just to see what it is. And in any case, but there are some people in the pictures that I know I didn't invite. Now, I remember we were giving out little tickets or whatever so people could come after, and if they knew somebody who was at the wedding, and join in on the dance and the party. I don't think it lasted very long, but nobody ever needs to have very long anywhere, an hour or so somewhere, have a dance and see people you saw, and there you've got a memory for your Christmas letter, for your memory book, or just to know that you got out again and conquered not getting out anymore. So yeah, there are people here I know, and I probably would have invited them if I had a million people on my list. Some of them might have wondered why did I invite them, but there are just people who I knew who were from Labrador, and I had taught there for so many years and gone to school there and sat on floats and worked with the children at the summer program, and vaguely knew people from school or whatever. Had them in my spirituality, whether I recognized some of them, but others more, and was talking to them, as I was walking along sometimes, and they were never there. So it's just what happens. But anyway, these are all the people who were at the wedding in various ways, and it was good they were there. And it was one, we thought it was a pretty good party, and I had been at weddings before. I didn't get to enjoy it, but I always like to throw a nice get together, and I think it went well. And just some of you can sort of retire out here for a little break. I don't remember. I don't think that we didn't have smoking with the multiple chemical sensitivity, which I was dismissed on again today. But the inability to breathe, and when you can't breathe, nothing else matters. But it doesn't if nobody cares if you're here anyway, I guess, right? Well, I'll get it all out, and I won't have to listen to it anymore. And so some people went out to the other room and had a smoke. And and yes, if I had gone to someone else's wedding and they had smoking at their wedding, I wouldn't have minded, and I would have stayed. And my Lord, I went out to the Ashwanabe sometimes with my friends, and people smoked there, and I stayed. But at my own wedding, where I had my own family, and my own belongings, and at the time I did have more trouble for all the reasons that I've been talking about, whether I complain or not when I'm out at head, because I didn't think I was out at head. I just thought to stay healthy, and I was going back to work that fall. Why would I flirt with disaster and have smoking when I didn't need to? And I had lots of friends who didn't have smoking at their wedding, and none of my friends who ever smoked ever seemed to complain that much, to me anyway. Because what difference does it really make? For a couple of hours, and they can go out and have a cigarette. Most of them are used to going places by that point and going outside for a cigarette anyway, and come back and dance. And certainly we weren't very easily run to the old days, but I mean, we were only getting married ourselves once, right? One couple. What a joke, one couple in the marriage bed. Well, Chris is going first and we're together, perhaps we should just be like swingers, and and I'm like, okay, you didn't say that. First, we were probably married, hey? Yeah, no. But you don't get it for a while, and somebody finally beats themselves down through the upper layer of your head that's, keeping everything okie dokie, and they show that we're all there because somebody's choosing us all for something or thinking something through somewhere. And, well, you're not swinging, but you certainly are being swung. Oh, not so great. Oh, what fun. I could cry. Can't look after the children if you're sitting in a corner bawling all